Hi guys, today I have a quick build of some roads that can be used. Of course, when I did it, I didn't put any lines on the roads or anything like that, but that's something you can always add in later, but here's how I made them.
Okay, to begin our build, we're going to use this crafty fun foam that you pick up at any craft store or big box stores. It's really cheap, and I'm using just a paper cutter to cut these into 3-inch strips. I just went with 3-inch. You could definitely go as wide or as narrow as you want. Here's the stack of strips that I'm going to do for this quick build, and just one quick little corner. I did a base coat them in black, and just to show you, that's just after the first base coat. It probably took 3 or 4 coats of black just to coat it because that foam just sucks it in. Since I want my roads to be just free-flowing, I didn't want it to put on any MDF or anything, but it definitely needs something else to give it some rigidity, so I just cut out some scrap, basically cardstock that I had laying around, and glued those with some tacky glue to the bottoms. I didn't make it flush with the sides. I just kind of wanted it in the middle again, just to give it some strength. The problem you run into after you glue this paper down is that it will try to curve. So find some useless old books you have laying around that are really big and heavy, and place these really big, useless, heavy books on top of the foam just to straighten it out. So after you're done with that and you're happy, what we're going to do is I have this big ball of aluminum foil that's crushed at different angles, and I'm just pressing it into the foam. You can press it as light or as hard as you want to give it some texture. Obviously you don't want it to be perfectly flat because it's supposed to simulate asphalt, and asphalt is not smooth pretty much anywhere you look. So I'm just using this ball and just rubbing along the edges on some of the, and changing the sides of the ball, because if you just always use the same side, it'll always have the same texture. And then there's a kind of a point on the ball. I kind of dig it into some of the spots to almost look like a pothole that's in the road. So here I'm just finishing up. I'm also doing the edges. Don't forget about the edges, because most asphalt doesn't have a perfectly good side. To begin painting this, I'm just using a light gray, watered down really good, and just go over the top of it. It looks like it's just covering the whole thing in gray, which it sort of is, but again, this foam it soaks up paint. So after it dries, you'll see that it's not quite as gray as what it looks like right here. And if you don't want it to be this gray to start with, you can always mix a little bit of black and make yours a little bit darker. Maybe just dry brush your gray and don't worry about anything on top of that. I wanted mine to be a little bit grayer. So just finish this up. You can already see where it's starting to dry into that foam over on the side. It's ridiculous how much it soaks up this paint. It's really funny. Alright, now we're going to start adding some of the rest of the colors. So what I did is I took the same gray and I mixed some with black, and so you have this. So I have basically 3 pots on my palette. You can't really see my palette, but you have pure black, the pure gray, and a mix of the two. And I watered it down, and I'm just stippling this in. On some of the other pieces I didn't stipple. I actually just brushed it on really, but it focused on just a few spots, and I'm just kind of flowing around the piece. And every time I dip back in there, I'm grabbing a different color. This is to give it a really good mix of the different colors across the terrain. And you also don't have to cover up all of the road either. You can leave some of the gray base coat or the black, kind of artistically, whatever you think makes sense. The main thing to remember is to vary your colors, and I find it works better to mix it on the road instead of mixing it necessarily on the palette. Sometimes it's more fun to just put it on there and then just mix everything together. So, and that is essentially all I am doing for these roads. It's a very simple, quick build. You can kick out a lot of these roads really fast. Here's some pictures of them on the table, surrounded some junk piles, and with a tank on it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you have any other suggestions for any kind of quick terrain builds, just let me know. Other than that, share, subscribe, like. put you in circles, and game on.